Greetings, everyone. This is 1488 here on YouTube, and welcome to the Schroeder Show, episode 11. Uh, for all of you who listen to my channel, sorry it's been a long time, but I've been too busy during the fall. So I hope you guys had a great end of 2014 and a great start to 2015. So what has uh, happened since August? Well, I've had a promotion. I've had um, two baby second cousins, both of them girls, and right now I'm just pretty much happy right now with the way things are at the moment. But things could be better. All right, so today we're going to discuss about a big topic in the world of Kiss, and which the this week and next week are going to be very big and very important. So let's just get it over and start. Like, why in the world am I talking about this? Well, if you see on your screen right there, you see Kiss, and then you see a group right underneath them, a five-girl Japanese group named Momoiro Clover Z. They are doing a collaboration together, which is promised to be the biggest collaboration in music history. And the thing is, it's only being sold in Japan, not anywhere else. So, let's just talk about this. Why is it called Momoiro Clover Z versus Kiss? Well, think of it this way. If you listen to Super Sentai, if you ever seen Super Sentai, and towards the end of the season they would have like a movie or something like that, a little special called, let's say for like this year, it would be Tokyuger versus Kyuranger. It would be like the current Sentai team versus the previous Sentai team, that kind of thing. Uh, but in this, it's like a David versus Goliath. The David is Momoiro Clover Z. The Goliath is the rock monster Kiss. So, before we get going, let's talk about the tale of the tape between the two. I'm going to start off with Kiss because, well, I know them better than Momoiro Clover, and they're a much older band. They've been established since 1973, and the members started off with Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. Since then, other members of the group, there were times of separation and times of bringing in new members. The other members consisted of, since the departure of the original four, Eric Carr, Vinnie Vincent, Mark St. John, Bruce Kulick, Eric Singer, and Tommy Thayer. The current group consists of Gene and Paul, with Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. There has been two deaths from the Kiss. One while they were together. The only member that died with Kiss was Eric Carr in 1991 from cancer. The other being Mark St. John, who was with the band in 1984, 1983, 1984 during Animalize. I think it was 84, 85, but it was during the Animalize era that Mark St. John did the album, but unfortunately had to give it up to Bruce Kulick because of an arthritic condition, and that pretty much haunted Mark St. John till he died. Kiss was now last year in 2014 inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have 20 studio albums, the latest one being Monster in 2012. And they have sold more gold records than any other band in America. Now let's talk about Momoiro Clover Z. or MCZ or Momokuru or Momoclove. You can say it in many different ways. They were established in 2008. The members the current group consisted of Kanako Momota, Shiori Tamai, Ayaka Sasaki, Momoko Ariyasu, and Rene Takagi, with one former member, and it was part of they started as a 5-member group. The one original member to the left was Akari Hayami. Momoko Ariyasu was the 6th member, then became the 5th member in 2011. They are best known for singing the Pokemon Best Wishes ending theme. They provided the theme music for Sailor Moon Crystal called Moon Pride. Other than that, they have 13 singles during their 7 years together. They have 2 albums, the first one called Battle and Romance in 2011. Fifth Dimension came out in 2013 and that one earned platinum status. They are also known as the first female group to perform at Tokyo's National Olympic Stadium, and the fastest group to do so last year. And in 2011, Akari Hayami left the group because she did not want to be considered as a Japanese idol. Instead, she wanted to be an actress. So since then, they were first known as Momoiro Clover, but then after Akari's departure, they were known as Momoiro Clover Z. And they're best known for, well, in their music videos, their choreography, their costumes, and they are recognized by colors. More like, Super Sentai and Power Rangers. Red's the leader. Then you got Momoko in green. Rene is in the violet. And I think Shiori is the yellow, and Ayaka is the pink. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure of it. And yes, they also have fans, and like Kiss, and like Kiss, they do have a following in the hundreds of thousands. It is like their own Kiss army, and their demographic is not just based on girls or their teenagers, because they started out when they were teens, in their early teens actually, and their ages range from 19 to 21 years of age. So they're a pretty young group, but they're gaining popularity by by each big hurdle, and this one will definitely send this group further up in popularity. They were the 3rd or 4th best-selling group in Japan in 2013. I think they made over 5 billion yen in that period. So they pretty much sold themselves pretty good. And we'll talk about more of this later. But how in the world did these two groups get together? Well, unfortunately, it all started back in 2011, let's say 2012 or 13. Doc McGee, who was, of course, the manager of Kiss, asked the vice president of marketing for the band to go to Tokyo, go to Japan nonetheless, and find a way to broaden the Kiss name. And of course, as you most Kiss fans know, that Paul and Gene are well into their 60s, in mid 60s. Gene is 65, and Paul Stanley just recently had a birthday, so happy birthday to the Star Child. And then, of course, you got Eric and Tommy, who are in their 50s. So we're pretty much at a point where there's going to be a new Kiss coming up, and maybe this is going to. I'll talk more nonetheless about maybe the future of the band. So, anyway, McGee asked this guy to find an answer or a solution to how to broaden up the Kiss name, because at the time Kiss was not touring in Japan. During Alive 35 or Sonic Boom, or the Sonic Boom era, into the Monster era, there were no tours set for Japan. The last time they were in Japan, of course, was back in 2006, prior to being in Tokyo at Budokan at the end of 2013. So anyway, he found this group, and he found Momoiro Clover Z, and there was a huge line for an autograph session, and this was at downtown Shibuya at Tower Records. He found a solution. He found stores full of Momoiro Clover Z stuff, and he called up to Dr. McGee and said, "Hey, I got an idea. How about a collaboration with a girl group?" They all laughed, saying, "Get real, it's not going to happen. Kiss don't do that." Well, apparently sooner they found out about their popularity and how they did things, and that's when they got together. And in the summer of last year, they got together, and Paul Stanley, of course, did the producing and the songwriting for a couple of versions of the song. It's all the same melody, of course. There's which is going to come out in Japan, sold in two different versions. There's the Momoiro Clover Z version, and then there's the Kiss version, which will be in a Best of Kiss 40 CD that will be sold only in Japan, as I said, but it'll be available on iTunes in 120 countries. So that's going to be kind of a good thing. That's if you have iTunes. I don't. But anyway, the music video, they just posted the music video about a little over 48 hours ago. I say good 60 hours ago, and it has already over half a million hits, 500,000 and counting, in just that 60-hour span. So there's the Momoiro, and that version is the Momoiro Clover Z version. If you don't get to see it, my suggestion is do so, even though if you're not into Japanese music, or don't want to be interested in this group, but I suggest you do watch it. It's kind of fun. It is half anime and it's half live action, but don't worry, folks, there are more to come with this. I think there's going to be another music video, because you got the Kiss version called Samurai Sun that will be also released in Japan. Other than that, there's also a mix with both of them performing together. Plus, also, Momoiro Clover Z will be at Tokyo Dome March 3rd for the Kiss show in Tokyo Dome. So, who knows what will happen at that time. So, anyway, the Momoiro Clover version is called Yomi no Uki Yoni Satamina. I hope I got that right. I am not too good at Japanese, and I'm not fluent in Japanese, so even though I like it, I like it. I mean, really, it's pretty good. And I started to listen to Momoiro's songs and their dance choreography, and it's something else. So, I mean, props to these girls. I mean, really, for, you know, being the most popular act in Japan and to join up with rock legends, uh, especially Kiss, is something to be behold and something amazing um, that I would consider buying the album or single if I can get a chance to get it from overseas. So that's one opinion I would like to say. Hey, I would like to buy this, but it's only in Japan. Can we have it sold here in America? And speaking of America, I think, in my opinion, I think these girls could come over to America, but the only thing is that all their songs are sung in Japanese. So, I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about, and like I said earlier, when I mentioned about Kiss and the future of the band, Kiss is going to soon, and when I mean Kiss, I mean Paul and Gene, are going to hang up their boots and their studs and their leather, and they're going to give it to someone else. The question is, who? Who gets to become the next generation Kiss? And I thought at first would be these girls. I think they would make the perfect Kiss, but then again, you would have to change everything about them. You would have to make them wear the boots, make them wear the studs, make them wear the leather, make them wear the makeup and the black hair. Well, of course, well, Japanese women do have black hair, but nonetheless, um, the fact is that Kiss is a quartet, Momoiro is a quintet. There's something has to give. So the pro about it is they're young, and if they were young enough to beat Kiss, it would take the band probably another good 30 to 40 years. Problem is, yeah, like I said, they're Japanese. They only sing Japanese, and they would have to change completely everything about their show and their ways. Plus, going international, that's also another problem. Because then you would have to tour in Europe, Australia, here in America, Mexico, South America, Canada. It would take them a lot to become the next Kiss. So until we know who really is the next Kiss, pretty much this is let's just let it go and leave it alone. But for the moment, let's enjoy this. I mean, enjoy this collaboration, because we don't know what the next thing is for Kiss, and hopefully at that Tokyo Dome show, I hope it gets put into a DVD, CD kind of thing, like the Kiss Symphony 12 years ago, where it became a live album and a DVD. I would like to see that if they were going to perform with Kiss. It would be great as well. So anyway, what is your thoughts on Momoiro Clover Z versus Kiss? If you want to see the music video, I suggest you go see it. I will have a link to the video on the description, or go to Momoiro Clover Z's YouTube page, and it will be one of the top mentioned. It'll be the latest one, of course, but you'll find Paul Stanley and Kanako together. So, but of course, when I was talking about how the story began, and well, there was the documentary that was aired on Japanese television. Unfortunately, YouTube took it down for copyright, and pretty much you can't just see the whole thing. I wish we could see it with English subs. That way we know what they speak, are saying, but nonetheless, it was a great scene in the documentary. It was great seeing how they did how Paul did the work for it, and it was a great product. Oh yeah, one thing to mention as well. You notice in the music video, Paul Stanley has a new guitar. Yeah, he went back. Of course, he eventually ended his contract with Washburn Guitars and went back to Ibanez. So we haven't seen that kind of guitar from Paul Stanley not since the reunion tour, basically. So yes, and from the Cycle Circus era to the end of the Monster, into this past tour here in the States, it's been Washburn, but now it's back to Ibanez. And you will notice because there's like a kind of arrowhead kind of thing on the end of the guitar there instead of the star. That you'll know that's a different kind of guitar than what Paul Stanley had over the years. So he's reverting back to a familiar guitar brand. So other than that, it still sounds the same. It's still the same rhythm guitar. But other than that, it's great. So until then, next time I'll talk to you later. We'll talk about the college football playoff. And again, on episode 12, what my thoughts were on the New Year's Six games and what's to come for next year's college football playoff. So until then, this is 1488 signing out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Rock on, and sayonara.